In 2007, one company controlled over 40% of the global mobile phone market. Its devices were everywhere. Its brand was untouchable. Then, a single product launch changed the industry forever. Within 6 years, that company would lose its crown, its relevance, and its independence. This is the story of how Nokia didn't fail fast enough and innovated too late. Nokia did not start as a tech giant. It began in 1865 in Finland as a pulp mill. Over decades, it transformed again and again: rubber, cables, electronics. By the 1990s, Nokia had reinvented itself one more time. Telecommunications. The timing was perfect. Mobile phones were moving from luxury to necessity. Networks expanded. Costs dropped. Demand exploded. Nokia focused almost entirely on mobile devices, betting the company's future on one product category. By the late 1990s, that bet paid off. Nokia became the world's largest mobile phone manufacturer. Its devices were durable, affordable, and easy to use. The brand stood for reliability. In many countries, Nokia became synonymous with phone. Nokia's rise was built on scale and execution. It mastered global supply chains. It released dozens of models each year, targeting every price segment. From entry-level phones to premium business devices, Nokia covered the entire market. Its operating system, Symbian, became the industry standard for smartphones before the term smartphone was widely used. Nokia dominated Europe, Asia, Africa, and large parts of Latin America. In 2007, it shipped more phones than its top competitors combined. Financially, Nokia was strong. Revenue was high. Its margins were stable. Market share was unmatched. Internally, the company believed it understood consumers better than anyone else. Externally, competitors were forced to react to Nokia's moves. At its peak, Nokia was not chasing the future. It was defining the present. The first warning signs did not come from falling sales. They came from changing behavior. Consumers were beginning to use phones differently. Messaging, internet browsing, and media were becoming central, not secondary. Software started to matter more than hardware. User experience became a competitive weapon. Kia saw these changes, but underestimated their speed and impact. Symbian, designed for keypad-based phones, struggled to adapt to touchscreens. Development was slow. Internal teams were fragmented. Multiple versions of the operating system existed at the same time, increasing complexity and delays. In 2007, Apple introduced the iPhone. It had no physical keyboard, no removable battery, limited features at launch, but it offered something different: a phone built around software, touch, and an ecosystem. Nokia initially dismissed it. After the iPhone launch, Nokia still led the market. Sales continued. Market share remained high. From a short-term perspective, there was no crisis, but internally, confusion grew. Should Nokia fully commit to touch-based smartphones? Should it rebuild Symbian or replace it? Should it prioritize low-cost phones or high-end platforms? Multiple projects competed for resources. One internal alternative, called MeeGo, showed promise but lacked urgency and executive backing. Decision-making slowed. Innovation became incremental instead of transformational. Meanwhile, Google launched Android in 2008. Unlike Apple, Google offered its operating system to multiple manufacturers. Samsung, HTC, and others adopted it quickly. Android improved fast, fueled by a growing app ecosystem. Nokia now faced two threats: Apple redefining the high end, and Android scaling rapidly across the market. By 2010, the shift was visible. Nokia's smartphone market share started to fall. Developers abandoned Symbian. Consumers compared Nokia devices to iPhones and Android phones and noticed the gap. In 2011, Nokia made a dramatic move. It appointed Stephen Elop, a former Microsoft executive, as CEO. Shortly after, Elop issued an internal memo, later known as the Burning Platform Memo. The message was clear. Nokia was falling behind, and drastic action was needed. Nokia announced it would abandon Symbian and MeeGo and partnered exclusively with Microsoft, adopting Windows Phone as its main platform. The decision was risky. Windows Phone had a small market share, few apps, limited developer support. But Nokia committed fully, betting that differentiation would come from hardware and a new software partner. The transition created a vacuum. Symbian phones were abandoned before Windows devices were ready. Sales dropped sharply. Consumers waited or switched to competitors. The ecosystem gap widened. Between 2011 and 2013, Nokia's smartphone sales collapsed. Market share fell from over 30% to single digits. Revenue declined. Losses mounted. Apple and Android dominated the high-growth segments. Samsung surged ahead using Android. Chinese manufacturers entered the low end with cheaper devices. Nokia was squeezed from both sides. Despite well-reviewed Lumia phones, the ecosystem problem remained. Apps arrived late or not at all. Developers focused on iOS and Android. Consumers followed. iCloud. In 2013, Nokia made its final move. It sold its devices and services division to Microsoft for approximately $7.2 billion. The company that once defined mobile phones exited the smartphone business entirely. Microsoft failed to turn Nokia's phone business around and later wrote off most of the acquisition. Apple became the most profitable consumer electronics company in history. Android became the world's dominant mobile platform. Nokia survived but transformed again, refocused on network infrastructure, patents, and telecommunications equipment. The brand lived on through licensing deals, but its era of dominance was over. Millions of consumers adapted. Thousands of employees were affected. An entire industry learned a lesson in real time. Nokia did not fail because it lacked talent or resources. It failed because it reacted too slowly to a structural shift. Hardware leadership was no longer enough. Software ecosystems mattered more than individual devices. Market leadership could disappear faster than internal processes could adapt. The company optimized for its existing success instead of accelerating toward the future. Innovation arrived, but not fast enough. Nokia once connected the world, one durable phone at a time. But when the rules changed, experience became a liability, not an advantage. In markets driven by technology, timing is not everything, but being late can cost you everything.